Hello, and welcome to the Child Advocacy Center of the Finger Lakes. My name is Sarah Flack, and I'm the Professional and Community Education Coordinator. The Child Advocacy Center of the Finger Lakes, also referred to as the CACFL, facilitates child abuse investigations through a team of community partners in a child-friendly environment, offering support and hope to children and families. Our vision is a child-focused center that facilitates a compassionate, multidisciplinary approach to the treatment of child abuse so that child victims of alleged sexual and physical abuse can feel safe and will be provided with support to enable their healing process. Each year, the Child Advocacy Center of the Finger Lakes serves over 300 children and families throughout Seneca, Yates, and Ontario County. Child abuse is a prevalent problem with a wide array of lasting effects. Statistics around child abuse show that an alarming 1 in 10 children will be sexually abused before their 18th birthday. Approximately 1/3 of abused children are abused by an older child, and 90% of abused children know, trust, or even love their abuser. The concept of stranger danger does not hold true, and people who abuse children look no different from anyone else. They could be a relative, friend, neighbor, teacher or coach, or even a clergy member. This can add to the confusion, guilt, shame, or embarrassment a child will experience and impacts their willingness to report their abuse. It is estimated that anywhere from 60 to 90% of abused children will never report their abuse. After experiencing the trauma of childhood abuse, many children struggle to determine if they should seek help. Because their abuser is often someone that the child and family know, it is likely that there was a lengthy grooming process before any actual abuse took place. Children can be confused by feelings of guilt, shame, embarrassment, or fear that make it difficult for them to share their story. Disclosure is the act of a child reporting the abuse they have experienced. A child will either make a disclosure by accident or purposefully. Regardless of how a disclosure comes to the surface, it is incredibly important how we react and respond. Remember, as many as 90% of abused children never report their abuse. If you are the adult that a child has made a disclosure to, that means they genuinely trust you and are looking for help. The child's story may be surprising or alarming to you. There are some things you can do to show you believe and support the child, as well as some things you should try to avoid. Most importantly, if a child talks to you about any abuse, you should immediately contact local law enforcement, Child Protective Services, or the Child Abuse Hotline to make a report. All reports are taken seriously, and it is the goal of these agencies to protect the safety of children. Keep in mind that you are not making an accusation of abuse, but are requesting for a professional service when making a report. Calls to all 3 agencies are confidential, and the suspect will never be made aware of where the report originated from. Receiving a report of abuse is when the CAC model and team approach is initiated. If you believe a child is being abused or maltreated, you can help by making a call to the New York State Central Registrar of Child Abuse and Maltreatment, otherwise known as the Child Abuse Hotline. When making the call to the Child Abuse Hotline, you will be connected with a child abuse expert who will walk you through the process of reporting. They will ask you a series of questions, including the child's name, date of birth, address, the child's injuries, and relationship of the alleged offender. The hotline is available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. If you suspect a child is in immediate danger, call 911. You may be the one person to make a difference. If you have reasonable cause to suspect a child is unsafe, make a report. Your information remains confidential. Anyone making a report in good faith is protected against civil and criminal penalty or adverse employment action. When you make a report, you do not need proof. Afterwards, a group of specially trained professionals will provide support and services to the child and family. I'd like to take a moment To go over the history of the Child Advocacy Center. The CAC model began in 1985 in Huntsville, Alabama, through the efforts of Bud Kramer, district attorney at the time. He prosecuted child abuse cases and realized the system put in place to help children was re-traumatizing them. He envisioned all the professionals to conduct their investigations in one child-friendly location to limit the number of times a child had to tell their story and increase collaboration among the professionals working those cases. These co-housed multidisciplinary teams result in more effective investigations and better outcomes for victims of abuse and their families. Our CAC is unique because we cover 3 counties here in the Finger Lakes: Seneca, Yates, and Ontario. Each of our counties has their own multidisciplinary team, but all 3 utilize the Child Advocacy Center of the Finger Lakes to coordinate the investigations of child abuse cases in our area. Altogether, the CAC of the Finger Lakes has over 200 multidisciplinary team members, 3 forensic interviewers, 3 advocates, and 6 full-time CAC staff members. In Ontario County, we also welcomed our newest MDT member, Juno, a 2-year-old golden Labrador retriever who has been trained as a courthouse facility dog. In 2008, the Child Advocacy Center of the Finger Lakes opened its doors to provide a location for coordinated, child-friendly investigations of child abuse allegations and related services to children and families in Ontario County. The CAC of the Finger Lakes operated a Phelps location and was a program of the Partnership of Ontario County. The CAC of the Finger Lakes then became a fully accredited center in 2012 by the National Children's Alliance, the national accrediting agency that sets rigorous standards that ensure high-quality services for children and families with regards to the child abuse investigations and services. The CAC of the Finger Lakes also is accredited through the New York State Office of Children and Family Services, also known as OCFS. OCFS is the state agency that provides funding and technical support to child advocacy centers and oversees that New York State CACs meet the state standards set forth for all CACs. In 2015, the Child Advocacy Center of the Finger Lakes moved its physical location from Phelps to Canandaigua, designing a center to meet the growing needs of child abuse investigations. We continued to grow and opened a satellite location in Waterloo in 2017 and an additional satellite location in Penn Yan in 2018. Originally formed as a program under the Partnership for Ontario County, the Child Advocacy Center of the Finger Lakes received its independent 501c3 status in 2019. We have expanded our capacity to provide mental health services for children with complex trauma and continue to focus on providing the services to get the best possible outcome for each child. Since opening in 2008, the Child Advocacy Center of the Finger Lakes has coordinated more than 3,300 cases and helped save the community more than $3.3 million in the cost of investigating child abuse allegations. The site has private family meeting spaces, a medical room, and space for co-litigating services such as mental health counseling, family advocacy, and forensic interviewing. In 1985, what Bud Kramer realized was that the process we were using to investigate child abuse involved a child repeatedly sharing their story with different members of the investigative team, as depicted in this graphic. With the development of the CAC model, we have improved how we support abused children and the quality and outcomes of investigations. The purpose of a child advocacy center is to provide a non-threatening, child-focused environment where investigations of alleged child abuse cases can be conducted, to reduce trauma to the child by limiting the number of interviews, provide support and advocacy services to victims and their families, and act as a provider to serve the multidisciplinary team. Child advocacy centers offer children and their families one central location that emphasizes a child-centered, trauma-informed approach to investigations and services. At the Child Advocacy Center of the Finger Lakes, we have a full-time case coordinator who helps organize the MDT and keep lines of communication open. Let's hear more from her about the benefits of utilizing a CAC and the services provided.
Hi, my name is Lisa, and I am the case coordinator with the Child Advocacy Center of the Finger Lakes. Here at the CAC, we coordinate child abuse investigations in a collaborative and child-friendly environment to minimize further trauma to the child. We ensure that all professionals who need to be involved with the child abuse investigations are working together as a team. When law enforcement or child protective services receive a new suspected case of child abuse, they reach out to me to help coordinate and facilitate scheduling a forensic interview. Requests for an interview can only be taken from law enforcement or child protective services. However, if a child has made a disclosure or you suspect they are being abused, our staff is happy to help you determine who to contact and provide you the phone numbers to local resources or to the state child abuse hotline. The Child Advocacy Center offers many services, including case collaboration among professionals working on a child abuse investigation, to include advocacy, mental health, and specialized medical referrals, as well as case reviews to assess for gaps in service. Education and outreach for professionals and the community, forensic interviewing, peer review, and participation on countywide human trafficking task forces.
To keep our team members and community partners up to date with the latest research, skills, and strategies for supporting abused children, the Child Advocacy Center of the Finger Lakes employs a full-time professional and community education coordinator. Let's hear more about the education and training provided by the Child Advocacy Center of the Finger Lakes. Hi, my name is Sarah, and I'm the Professional and Community Education Coordinator here at the Child Advocacy Center of the Finger Lakes. We offer a variety of ongoing training and educational opportunities to not only the members of the multidisciplinary team, but also to partner agencies and community members. Monthly, we host a lunch and learn for our partner agencies and multidisciplinary team on a variety of topics. Some of these topics include human trafficking, forensic interviewing, and so much more. We are able to bring in professionals across our state and nation to provide ongoing education and offer continuing education credits for mental health counselors and licensed social workers. We currently have developed an interpersonal child trauma training level 1 course that is comprised of 11 workshops. All of these workshops offer continuing education credits and are available in an on-demand format. While this training program was launched in the fall of 2021, we are currently undergoing development of our level 2 program, which will be a deeper dive for licensed mental health workers and social workers. Be on the lookout for that to launch in the spring or summer of 2022. We also host our annual Believe conference every fall that brings together approximately 150 professionals across Seneca, Yates, and Ontario counties to discuss the investigative component of child abuse cases as well as prevention. This conference has been hosted online via our remote platform, and we hope that in the future we'll be able to host in person again. Our community presentations include the Darkness to Light Stewards for Children program, as well as a variety of other topics like social media and online safety, adolescent health and development, and much more. We're happy to offer our services during superintendent's conference days for schools, to preschools and YMCAs and other child care facilities, and also other youth serving organizations like the Scouts or youth sports. If you would like to set up a training for your organization, please reach out to me at Sarah, S-A-R-A, at cacfingerlakes.org. I have referred to the multidisciplinary team, but who does this include? Team members come from a variety of professions, including prosecutors from the district and county attorney's office, law enforcement officers and investigators, child protective services caseworkers, medical and mental health professionals, child and family victim advocates, school staff, and CAC staff. Now let me introduce you to some of our staff and multidisciplinary team members. Every child and family who comes to the CAC is greeted by a trained child advocate through a partnership with Safe Harbors of the Finger Lakes. Some children and families may also work with a victim witness advocate or coordinator through the county's district attorney's office. Advocates play a pivotal role in supporting child abuse victims throughout the disclosure and interview process. Advocates are also one of the few multidisciplinary team members that can provide support to the entire family and continue to work with clients beyond any investigative component. Let's meet one of our advocates to hear more about the services advocates can provide and their role at the CAC.
Hi, I am Melissa, and I'm the Child Advocacy Coordinator for the Child Advocacy Center of the Finger Lakes. So one of our roles here at the CAC is to provide advocacy to the non-offending caregiver and the child. And so what that looks like is that we're going to discuss the needs of the child or the family. We're also going to discuss the possible services that might be appropriate for them. And that might be counseling referrals, it could be a medical referral, going over safety planning, or even family court options. You know, for a lot of families, this is a very difficult time, and we want to prepare them for those next steps and make sure that they feel supported. So in ways which we're going to do that is that, you know, we're going to go over what their options are for family court, whether it be for an order of protection, or maybe it's applying for custody, or modifying a current order. We're also going to provide advocacy and CPS support. So and advocacy, and really helping them bridge the communication and, you know, be a liaison between them if they need information on their case or on the investigation, and really help them try to connect with the people that they need information from. So additionally, we're also going to provide each family with a blue folder that's similar to this one. And in their blue folder, there's going to be information on healthy sexual boundaries and behaviors for children, how to best support your child during that time, and what's appropriate for them. We're also going to provide information on what forensic medical exams are, and victim assistance compensation supports. There's also information on family counseling services of the Finger Lakes, Safe Harbors of the Finger Lakes, and child and family resources. There's a little bit additional information on, you know, other community resources that might be appropriate for families during that time. Afterwards, we're going to provide the child with a comfort care item, and that might be like a stuffed animal. It might be a comfort blanket or some therapy putty, just something that they can play with. It may also be, you know, afterwards, we're going to provide 24 to 48 hour follow-up and just check in, make sure everything's okay, see how things are going, see if the family or the child need anything. This may also be the time where we're going to, you know, discuss those referrals that we talked about, and, you know, make sure that those are being sent in so that we can get therapy and things like that set up.
The primary and key component of a child abuse investigation begins with a forensic interview. Although CPS caseworkers and law enforcement officers have received training to conduct interviews, most of the cases seen at the Child Advocacy Center of the Finger Lakes conduct forensic interviews with one of our contracted forensic interviewers. These interviewers have gone through a rigorous 40-hour training program, conduct interviews on a more regular basis, and participate in ongoing professional development training opportunities and peer review. Let's take a look at one of our center's interview rooms and hear some more from a trained forensic interviewer.
Hello, everyone. My name is Sherry, one of the forensic interviewers at the Child Advocacy Center. Welcome to the interview room. Each one of our 3 locations of the Child Advocacy Centers have a room such as this to provide one-on-one confidential interview for the children. Anyone conducting a forensic interview has gone through extensive training through accredited program to be able to practice best practices and have a high quality interview. So before I have the child come in, we do a pre-interview get information meeting with the investigative team, which is conducted of the CPS caseworker, law enforcement officer, and sometimes the DA office. At this point, I'm able to gather more information regarding the child, learn about their physical developmental abilities, any cultural background, or any adaptations that I might need to serve the best interest of the child. So in this room, there is a smart board that we may utilize as a tool. This helps the child draw any body parts or relatives that they may be talking about, or specific places during the interview that may become less stressful and help them with their anxiety level. During the interview, it remain a neutral fact-finding party, doing this utilizing open-ended questions to allow for the child to have an open narrative and a non-leading manner. The interviews are recorded, and this is no surprise to the child. We allow the child to meet with the investigative team prior to the interview. They can speak or ask any questions that they have at that point, and then we come in here and conduct the interview. At some point during the interview, we may take a break if the interview goes long or is difficult for the child, and then allows them to take a break and for me to check in with the team.
Although interviewers may be the only person on the multidisciplinary team meeting with the child, law enforcement officers and CPS caseworkers will be the two agencies investigating the allegations. In order to provide them with real-time information and allow them to participate in the interview process, CACs utilize an observation room during the interview. All multidisciplinary team members involved in the case investigation are able to meet prior to a child arriving for an interview to discuss pertinent details of the disclosure. During the interview itself, any team members other than the interviewer can observe and touch base with the interviewer during breaks in the interview. Following the conclusion of an interview, all team members may wish to debrief together or even check in with the non-offending caregiver. Let's take a peek at one of our observation rooms.
And as I mentioned before, we're in the observation room right next door to the interview room. And this room is where the law enforcement, child protective service, caseworker, and occasionally the DA's office will be in here, and they will watch and listen to the interview on closed loop circuit. That allows them to see any details on the smart board or any drawings. Again, this is an opportunity. The child comes in this room, understands that there are videos and audio equipment in the other room, and at this point they can talk to law enforcement or any questions they have, they can understand it at this time. This also lessens the amount of people involved with the one-on-one interview and reduces the anxiety and stress for the child. This room is being recorded, and that recording goes to the law enforcement officer for evidence on any of their cases. You can see on the screen, this is where they sit, they listen with the headphones, and they watch. If we have any questions at some point, interviewer will come back in here and discuss any other information they might need, and that is the end of the interview.
At our main location, the Child Advocacy Center of the Finger Lakes does have a medical exam room on site. Many CACs can conduct medical exams right at their center. The Child Advocacy Center of the Finger Lakes does not have a medical professional on staff, so we do not conduct exams at our center. However, the CACFL does have a close partnership with the U of R Thompson Health and Bavona CAC in Rochester. In the case that a child is referred for an urgent medical exam, an advocate would assist in coordinating a sane exam at Thompson. Non-emergent exams can be scheduled with the Bavona CAC for a REACH exam. Parents often believe a medical exam is an urgent issue. At times, law enforcement feels an urgency to obtain medical exams as a need to help prove or disprove cases. This is at times the case. However, in general, it is not. The primary purpose of a medical exam is to ensure the child has received any required medications, ensure awareness exists of any pre-existing medical conditions, assess for developmental, emotional, and behavioral problems needing further evaluation and treatment. The main Child Advocacy Center of the Finger Lakes location in Ontario County also houses a therapy suite. Trauma-trained therapists from Family Counseling Services of the Finger Lakes are co-located at the Child Advocacy Center of the Finger Lakes to provide ongoing counseling and support to children. Our advocates can also assist with referrals to outside counseling or with filing an Office of Victim Services claim form for victims and survivors. This claim form can assist with funding to cover counseling as well as many other expenses incurred by the victim and their family as a direct result of the victimization or abuse. All children and families will be given this information when they meet with an advocate. In April of 2021, the Ontario County District Attorney's Office Victim Assistance Program welcomed Juno, our newest team member. Juno is a 2-year-old Golden Labrador Retriever who has been trained as a courthouse facility dog. To help ease the stress and fear of crime victims going through the criminal justice process, Juno will provide companionship to children during forensic interviews, therapy sessions, and legal proceedings in Ontario County. Are you interested in supporting the work that we are doing at the Child Advocacy Center of the Finger Lakes? We are always accepting donations and looking for volunteers. Let's hear more about how you can support our efforts to protect and support children and families.
Hi, my name is Tina. I am the Administrative Assistant for the Child Advocacy Center of the Finger Lakes. The CACFL is a nonprofit agency. If you would like to support the work that we do, we have opportunities for our community to donate or volunteer. Your support directly impacts children living in Ontario, Seneca, or Yates County. We accept cash, check, or credit card via our website, cacfingerlakes.org. Your gift will help with things like support our services to children, including advocacy, forensic interviewing, and mental health. Purchase gas cards to help families get to our offices or medical or mental health appointments. Buy new bedding for a child whose bedding was taken as evidence. Provide training programs at schools and daycare centers. With your tax-deductible donation to the CACFL, you are giving a child hope for the future. The Child Advocacy Center of the Finger Lakes welcomes volunteers in a variety of roles. Volunteers can assist with fundraising events or with our annual Believe conference, serve on committees, become a CAC angel, share information about the agency at community events, and more. To maintain the confidentiality of the children and families we work with, volunteers will never meet the children or families, know their names, or see their photos. The CAC Angels program is a unique way for us to support children. A CAC angel waits in the wings ready to help a local child who has been abused or witnessed abuse. Angels may be asked to buy clothes, shoes, Christmas gifts, pay for karate lessons or summer camp, or help with other specific needs. For more information on any of our volunteer opportunities, please visit our website at cacfingerlakes.org and go to the tab, What You Can Do. Thank you.
If you believe a child is being abused or maltreated, you can help by making a call to the New York State Child Abuse Hotline at 1-800-342-3720. For more information or resources, please visit the Child Advocacy Center of the Finger Lakes website at www.cacfingerlakes.org.